Today, we knock out something I've been wanting to do for about 2 years now. We're gonna do something about our porch. Let's do this. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Brian over here at the Little Orchard Farm and welcome to today's video. Today we're gonna wrap up a long overdue project. Karen and I have been in our cabin now for a little over 2 years. Over that 2 years, we have done so many great things here on the farm. Building the barn, chicken coop, the sheds, the garden, the orchard, the vineyard. All those things have been awesome. But there's a few tasks that have remained. And one of the tasks that has remained on this house, on this little cabin, is putting up some of the railing on the porch, right? So Nala is now the new movie star out here, right? She demands a lot of attention. But we need to add this railing. And what I thought we would do is, in order so that our view, and we're sitting over here in the living room area or in the dining room area over here, is that when you look out, this is what you want to see, right? You want to see that. And in the fall, when that guy turns orange and red and yellow, it's just a beautiful, beautiful scenery. So I don't want to muck up our view by using a massive wooden, railings with the spindles and all that stuff. So I want to go a little different route with this. And so today I'm going to show you how we are going to erect or construct it's an aircraft wire type system that will add, I think, just a nice modern look to our really rustic kind of little cabin here. In order to start this project, I began with a template, and this template will actually go onto each of the beams and will allow me to line up exactly where I want to put the strands. And I'm going to do 5 strands on our porch. Most people will do up to 10 strands, and most codes call for 8 to 10 strands because they have to be about every 3 inches apart. Well, I'm going to make mine a little bit. There's going to be a little bit more gap between my runs. And so I'm going to make them about 8 inches. So I'm only going to have 5 runs from the 8-inch mark off the ground to the 40-inch mark up on the very top one. All right. So the first thing, first of all, let's address why we have the arm rail, the handrail, and so forth. Well, it's 2 reasons really. One, it's for safety. Obviously, you don't want to fall off your porch and hurt yourself or whatnot. So it's a restrictive barrier type of deal. But secondly, it's obviously aesthetics. It's about the look and how it finishes off your cabin or your house. And we've been letting this go now for a couple of years, and it's time to finish it off. So let's get started with it. The first thing that we have to do is obviously we get a few measurements to locate where we want to put our templates, and then we'll put our templates on. We'll drill our holes, and then I'll show you what we're going to do from there. Pretty simple. Let's do it. So we're going to just place a mark. 40 inches is the top of my railing. I'm going to get an idea. All right, so Karen's going to put it up there. We're going to make sure we hit our mark over here. You can see our little mark right there. We're going to bring it up. Okay, drop your wood down, sweetie. All right, hold right there. We're good. We're good. All right. Are you good? Right in the middle of the bubble. That looks nice. So now I'll come right over here. So what I did was laid the square in here right at the bottom. Made me a mark. You're good to remove that now, sweetie. So now that means that from my point here to my point here should be level at our 40-inch mark, middle of the board. I'm just going to pop a quick hole. So all we've done here is we're just making sure that we're staying level and plumb. These are our little templates that I've created, both for a 4-inch side and for the 6-inch side, so that you've got the different size beams. And They're both marked with the 5 wires that I'll be putting in: 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. All right, so what we've done is we've made sure that we had a equal mark that's level over here. But what we don't know is where this wire has to go this direction, the left and right. That's very good. Middle. All right, so that tells me that where we have our mark here on this board is going to be directly in line with the middle on this board, which means now I should be able to take my wide 6-inch template, stick it on the floor, it's pretty darn good right there. All right, now then, again, this is right at our 40-inch mark. This is the cable that we're going to be using. It's a 3/16 cable, and this is the actual screw, the thread, the crimp that we're also utilizing. And so we'll crimp it on one end, we'll crimp it on the other end, and one of these has a right-handed twist to it, and the other end will have a left-handed twist to it. So you'll actually be going at the exact same direction, and therefore it will not kink or twist the wire. And so that's the goal. The only thing that I had an issue with to begin with was the fact that my crimper that I had that was on loan to me wasn't doing a very good job. And so I actually went and I bought one. I purchased one. And believe it or not, I purchased a Pittsburgh brand, which is from Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight has a pneumatic or hydraulic cable crimper. It's like 70 bucks. Best money I think you can spend. We've already tested this, and it's amazing. It's definitely manual labor. It's not pneumatic. Pneumatic would be air. That's not what this is. This is a little bit of brute force on the hydraulic. But it does get the job done and makes a fantastic crimp that is also not all janky looking and kind of nasty. It makes a very nice, because this is going to be visible. Wherever the crimp's going to be visible. So you want it to look good, and this tool definitely does that. I'm at 65 3/4. 65 3/4. They recommend to take off anywhere from 1.5 inches to 2 inches. We're going to take 1.5 inches off. 1.5 inches off of, what did I just say, 65 3/4? Or 60, that's how short-term my memory is. 65 3/4. So 1.5 inches off of 65 3/4 is 64 1/4. So we're going to go 64 1/4 and cut us one wire. And I'm going to go to 64 1/4. 1/4 right there. Make that cut. Now we go on to putting the crimped ends on there. Let's do that now. So Karen's been hanging on to the left and the rights. Obviously got the lefts in the left pockets, the rights in the right pockets. And so she's now threaded one of them on there. Show them what that looks like. So we just thread it on. Boom, just like that. And then we come along with the super tool and we're going to crimp it. And we do it twice to make sure we got a good hold. In case one slips, we hope to make sure that both of them don't slip. And that is what it looks like. Very nice and clean, very, very solid. That thing's not going anywhere. Now we'll do the other end. and put it on there. And then we'll lock this one up and then we'll test it to make sure that the length is correct. That's the reason why we don't do all 5 at once. We want to make sure that we've got a good one first before we mass produce it. All right, let's check and see if this one works. So she's going to be twisting to the right. I'm going to be twisting to the left. So in essence, they're both going in the same direction. I'm turning counterclockwise. She's turning clockwise. And we're both turning it in the same direction. And that's how this wire keeps from getting really tangled up really badly. So as you tighten this up, it'll eventually get tighter and tighter. So now that we have one, and we know then that this length is the ideal length, and again, the reason why we did one and check it was to hide the threads on the crimp here. So we've run it all the way in, the threads are hid, and that looks nice and clean. We slide it down here, and the same is true. Nice and hidden threads on that. That's why you want to keep going at the same time. This is certainly a two-man job, or two-person job, excuse me. Two-person job, going back and forth, doing a few twists here and a few twists there by one person. No way. By far, much better if you tag team this. Makes the day go by a lot quicker, the job. You're in? And my two am in. Yep, and it's just that, it is just that easy. So we've gone through and we put these at 8 inches each. Again, no code here. If I were doing it to code, there'd be twice as many runs. There'd be 10 runs, not just 5. We are minimalist, AKA we're going for the cheap route.
Well, we don't have any kids.
That's right.
There's no babies out here.
Karen's behind the scenes over here. What's that?
There's no babies out here.
No babies out here. So the only thing that might get their heads out this might be a dog. And I think it'll probably get its head out if it does. So every 8 inches, we've got 5 wires. This one looks great. We're going to continue on. Whew. All right, so we got it done. all the way down and all the way to the end. So there we have it, all the way around the porch. Full, got all the wiring up, and it really looks good. I think we're really gonna like this. And it wasn't that difficult. The toughest part for me was the crimping. The hydraulic crimper, man, I had it between my legs like the thigh master, squeezing that thing to try to get those crimps on there good and tight. But the lifesaver in all this probably was creating the templates. Laid the templates right on there, and it really, I mean, we did a couple of checks on measurements as we were going, but just laying the piece of wood right up against the post, pop, 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 hitting those holes on our template and then going right at it, significantly sped up the process. We also found the sweet spot in the length of the wire. So the manufacturer recommends about a 2-inch shortening of the wire when using the connectors here, and we chose 1.5 inches, which made it even a 1/2 inch shorter than that. So no, it made it a 1/2 inch longer. But what that did do is it enabled us to sink. It enabled us to sink all of the crimps, studs into the post. so you don't see any of the screw piece of this. It looks really clean and really nice, and it's really tight. And that is what we were looking for. The other thing was again, back to kind of the purpose of doing this, was when you look out over our land, the last thing I want you to do is to see a bunch of wood going across here. But as you can tell, the cable is almost invisible. It's really, really nice. It does add that security, or the safety piece of it, to where Karen's kind of, she falls off the porch a lot. Well, this will help her not to fall off the porch.
My drunken stupor.
So she won't be falling off the porch as much anymore. I've laid the safety net for her here, and so that's going to help her. And it aesthetically looks really nice, I think. I really, really am going to be pleased with this. Certainly once we get the stairs done, and we'll complete that once we have time to paint. I need to paint those posts first. But I don't know if you can tell, it looks, from here, it looks really, really good. And that's all we can ask for. A little homemade good lookingness, right? Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed that little project. It was something that I've been trying to knock out for about 2 years now, and just got around to doing it. It was on the bucket list, or on the honey-do list, and I needed to check it off. And there you have it. We've got ourselves our porch wiring, our porch cabling, and I couldn't be happier with it. It really looks good. Hope you've learned a little something. Hope you enjoyed the visit. Well, we hope you also have a wonderful week and a very blessed week. Until we see you again the next time, we will see ya.